If you enjoy stories about family manipulation, revenge, and justice served cold, please hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and comment your thoughts below. Your support means everything. I'm 58 years old, and I've spent my entire life building wealth through hard work and smart decisions. I own 3 successful hardware stores, have substantial investments, and live comfortably in a house my late wife and I bought 30 years ago. But 6 months ago, my son-in-law Derek decided he was entitled to control all of it. What he didn't know was that I'd been quietly preparing for exactly this kind of betrayal. My name is Vincent Harris. I'm a widower. My wife Patricia died 4 years ago from a sudden heart attack. We had one daughter, Nicole, who's 32 years old. She married Derek Ashford 3 years ago. I didn't like him from the start, but Patricia did, so I kept my mouth shut. Derek works in finance. Or at least, that's what he tells people. The truth is he's had 6 different jobs in 3 years. Always quits or gets fired. Always has an excuse. Always has a new opportunity. That never pans out. Nicole is a nurse. She works hard, makes decent money, and deserves better than Derek. 6 months ago, Derek started asking about my finances. Casual questions at first. How much are the stores worth? What kind of investments did I have? Had I made a will? I deflected, changed subjects, but he kept pushing. Then 3 months ago, things escalated. Derek showed up at my house with documents, power of attorney forms, estate planning paperwork, all prepared by a lawyer I'd never heard of. Vincent, we need to talk about your future, he said, sitting at my kitchen table like he owned the place. You're not getting any younger. Someone needs to manage your assets. Make sure everything's protected. Protected from what? From mistakes. From bad decisions. From people who might take advantage of you. The irony was stunning. He would try to take advantage of me while warning me about people who might take advantage of me. I'm 58, Derek, not 98. I'm perfectly capable of managing my own money. For now. But what happens if you get sick? What happens if you become incapacitated? Nicole would be overwhelmed trying to handle everything. But if you sign power of attorney over to me, I can manage it all. Keep the businesses running. Protect your investments. Why you? Why not Nicole? Because Nicole's too emotional. She makes decisions based on feelings instead of logic. I'm trained for this. I understand finance. I can maximize her assets and ensure Nicole inherits the most possible when the time comes. When the time comes. Like he was already planning my funeral. I'll think about it, I said, not signing anything. Derek's smile faded. Don't think too long, Vincent. The longer you wait, the more vulnerable you become. I'm trying to help you here. Try and protect the family. He left the papers on my table. I threw them in the trash the moment he drove away. But that wasn't the end of it. Over the next few weeks, Derek brought it up constantly. At family dinners. At Nicole's birthday party. Even at church after Sunday service. Have you thought more about those papers? He'd ask. Always casual. Always friendly. Always with an undertone of pressure. I kept refusing. Kept deflecting. Kept saying I'd handle it myself. Then 2 months ago, things got worse. Derek started involving Nicole. Dad. Derek says you won't sign the power of attorney, she said during one of our weekly lunches. Why not? He's just trying to help. Nicole, I don't need help managing my money. I've been doing it successfully for 40 years. But Dad, what if something happens to you? What if you have a stroke or get dementia? We need to be prepared. I could hear Derek's words coming out of her mouth. He'd coached her. Convince her this was about protecting me instead of controlling me. Sweetheart, if something happens to me, everything goes to you anyway. It's all in my will. You're my only heir. You'll inherit the stores, the house, the investments, everything. But managing it all would be so overwhelming. Derek could handle the business side. Make sure everything runs smoothly. Make sure you get the best care if you need it. Is this what Derek told you to say? She looked uncomfortable. He's worried about you, Dad. We both are. I'm fine, Nicole. Healthy as a horse. Not going anywhere anytime soon. But, Dad, Nicole, listen to me carefully. I'm not signing power of attorney over to Derek. Not now. Not ever. If that's a problem for him, that's his issue to deal with. Not yours. Not mine. She looked hurt. Why don't you trust him? Because he's not asking out of concern. He's asking out of greed. He sees dollar signs where he should see family. Nicole stood up. That's not fair. Derek loves me. He loves us. He's trying to be a good husband and son-in-law. She walked out. Didn't speak to me for a week. That's when I knew Derek had succeeded in turning my daughter against me. That's when I knew I needed to take action. Not reactive action. Proactive action. Strategic action. The kind of action that would protect Nicole from Derek's manipulation while also teaching Derek a lesson he'd never forget. I called my lawyer, Howard Mitchell. We'd worked together for 20 years. I trusted him completely. Howard, I need to make some changes to my estate. Changes that Derek Ashford will never see coming. I spent 3 hours in Howard's office. We restructured everything. My will, my trusts, my business succession plans. Everything. When we finished, Howard smiled. Vincent, this is bulletproof. If Derek tries anything, he's going to get a very unpleasant surprise. Good. That's exactly what I want. I also hired a private investigator, a guy Howard recommended. Former FBI. Discreet. Thorough. I need you to look into Derek Ashford. Employment history. Financial records. Everything. If he's hiding something, I want to know about it. The investigator, Grant, nodded. Give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, Grant came back with a file 2 inches thick. What he found was damning. Derek had been fired from his last 3 jobs. Not laid off. Fired. For financial irregularities. For borrowing money from clients without authorization. He had $40,000 in credit card debt. Nicole didn't know about it. He'd hidden it from her. He'd tried to take out a loan, using my house as collateral, without my knowledge or permission. The bank had refused because my name wasn't on the application, but he'd tried. This guy's a con artist, Grant said. He's trying to gain access to your money because he's desperate. He's drowning in debt and sees you as a life raft. Can you prove all of this? Every word. I've got documents, bank statements, employment records, loan applications, everything you need. I paid Grant and took the file home, studied it, made copies, prepared. Then I waited because I knew Derek would make another move. Guys like him always do. They can't help themselves. 1 month ago, Derek made his move. He showed up at my house with Nicole. Both of them looked serious. Dad, we need to talk, Nicole said. Derek and I have been discussing your situation. We think it's time to make some changes. What kind of changes? Derek jumped in. Nicole, and I think you should sell the stores. You're working too hard. Too much stress. It's not healthy for a man your age. We found a buyer who's willing to pay a fair price. You could retire. Enjoy your remaining years. Remaining years. Like I was terminal. Who's his buyer? A private equity firm I have connections with. Derek said smoothly. They specialize in acquiring small business chains. They're offering $2.5 million for all 3 stores. $2.5 million. My stores were worth at least $4 million, probably close to $5 million. This buyer was lowballing, and Derek was trying to push me into accepting. And how would this work exactly? You'd sign the businesses over to firm. They'd wire the money to an account. To ensure everything's handled properly, I'd help you set up a trust with me as trustee. That way the money's protected and properly managed. There it was, his real plan. Get me to sell my businesses at a loss. Put the proceeds in a trust he controlled. Effectively steal everything I built while making it look legal. I looked at Nicole. Do you agree with this? She nodded. Dad, Derek's looked at the numbers. This is a good deal. And you really should retire. You've been working so hard since Mom died. It's time to rest. Derek had done his job well. He convinced my daughter that stealing from me was actually helping me. I need time to think about this, I said. Derek's jaw tightened. How much time? A few weeks. This is a big decision. The buyer won't wait weeks. They need an answer by Friday. For days, he was trying to pressure me into a rushed decision. Classic manipulation tactic. Then I guess they'll have to find another business to buy, because I'm not making this decision in 4 days. Derek stood up. Vincent, I don't think you understand the opportunity you're passing up. This buyer is serious. If you reject them, you might not get another offer this good. Then I won't get another offer. I can live with that. Nicole looked upset. Dad, please, just think about it. Talk to your accountant. Get a second opinion. I will, but I'm not being rushed into anything. They left. Derek was furious. Nicole was disappointed. I didn't care, because now I knew exactly what Derek was trying to do, and I was ready to stop him. The next day, I called a family meeting, told Nicole and Derek I'd made my decision about the stores. They showed up at my house that evening. Derek looked triumphant. He thought he'd won. I've decided not to sell, I said. Derek's face went red. That's a mistake, Vincent. A serious mistake. Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. You're being stubborn and foolish. Nicole, tell your father he's making a huge error. Nicole looked torn. Dad, are you sure? Derek really thinks this is the right move. I'm sure. The store stay. End the discussion. Derek stood up. Fine, but don't come crying to us when you work yourself to death or lose everything because you're too proud to accept help. He stormed out. Nicole followed, apologizing to me with her eyes but not her words. I knew this wasn't over. Derek wouldn't give up. He was in too deep financially. He needed my money too desperately. So I waited and watched and prepared for his next move. 1 week later, I got a call from my bank. There had been an attempt to access my accounts. Someone claiming to be me had called and asked for account balances and recent transaction history. The bank had asked security questions. The caller had answered incorrectly. They refused to provide information and flagged the account. Did you get a name? I asked the bank manager. He said his name was Vincent Harris, but obviously it wasn't you. Did you get a phone number? Yes, from caller ID. She gave me the number. I called Grant, my investigator. Can you trace this number? He called back an hour later. It's Derek Ashford's cell phone. Derek had tried to access my bank accounts, had impersonated me, had committed fraud. Now I had him. I called Howard, my lawyer. Derek just tried to access my bank accounts by impersonating me. The bank has records. One of my options, we can file a police report. Press charges. He'd be looking at fraud charges, possibly identity theft. What about Nicole? Would she be implicated? Not unless she was involved. Was she? I don't think so. Derek's been hiding his financial problems from her. Then she'd be in the clear. But Vincent, if you press charges against Derek, it's going to cause major family problems. I know, but I can't let him keep doing this. He's stealing from me, or trying to. There might be another way, a way that protects you, stops Derek, and doesn't destroy your relationship with Nicole. I'm listening. Howard explained his plan. It was brilliant, perfect, exactly what I needed. 2 days later, I invited Nicole and Derek to my house again, told them I'd reconsidered, that I wanted to discuss their suggestions. They arrived looking hopeful, Derek especially. He thought he'd finally broken me down. I've been thinking about what you said. I began about selling the stores, about retirement, about protecting my assets. And you're right. I do need to think about the future. Derek smiled. I'm glad you're seeing reason, Vincent. This is the right decision. So here's what I'm proposing. I'm going to sell the stores, but not to your buyer. I'm selling them to my employees. I've already worked out a deal where they'll buy me out over 5 years. Fair market value for $0.2 million. Derek's smile faded. That's not what we discussed. The private equity firm is offering 60% of what my stores are actually worth. I'm not an idiot, Derek. I know a low-ball offer when I see one. It's not. It is. I had 3 independent appraisals done. All came back between 4 and 5 million. Your buyer was trying to steal from me. And you were helping them do it. Nicole looked shocked. Derek, is that true? No. Vincent's being paranoid. The appraisals are wrong. I pulled out the appraisal documents, slid them across the table. Nicole read them. Her face went pale. These are from reputable firms, she said quietly. They all say for $1 million or more. Nicole, don't listen to him. He's trying to turn you against me. I'm not trying to turn her against you, Derek. I'm trying to open her eyes to what you're really doing. I pulled out another document, the bank report, the one showing Derek's attempted fraud. Last week, someone called my bank pretending to be me, tried to get access to my accounts. The bank traced the call. It came from your phone, Derek. Nicole grabbed the document. Read it. Looked at Derek. Is this true? I can explain. Did you call his bank pretending to be him? Derek's face was red, sweating. I was just trying to help, trying to make sure his accounts were secure. By committing fraud? I said, by impersonating me? I wasn't impersonating you. I was checking on you. With my name, my social security number, my account information, all without my permission. That's called identity theft, Derek. Nicole stood up. Derek, what have you done? Nothing. He's blowing this out of proportion, making me sound like a criminal when I was just trying to help the family. I pulled out the final document, Grant's investigation file. Let's talk about your financial situation, Derek. The $40,000 in credit card debt you've been hiding from Nicole. The 3 jobs you were fired from for financial irregularities. The loan application where you tried to use my house as collateral without my permission. I slid the file across the table. Nicole picked it up with shaking hands. Started reading. Her face went from pale to white, then to red, then back to pale. Derek, she whispered, what is all this? Lies. All lies. He hired some investigator to dig up dirt on me. None of it's real. It's all documented. I said, bank statements, employment records, loan applications, all verified, all true. Nicole was crying now. How could you lie to me like this? How could you try to steal from my father? I wasn't stealing. I was trying to secure our future. Your father's sitting on millions while we're drowning in debt. It's not fair. Not fair. Nicole's voice rose. You spent $40,000 without telling me. You got fired 3 times and lied about it. You tried to steal my father's identity. And you think what's not fair is that he won't just hand you his money. He's your father. He should want to help us. Help us? Or help you pay off debts I didn't even know about? Derek realized he'd lost. His face twisted with rage. Fine. You want the truth? Yes, I have debt. Yes, I've had job problems. Yes, I was trying to get access to his money. Because we need it. Because I need it. Your father's an old man sitting on a fortune he'll never spend. Why should we have it now when we can actually use it? Nicole slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed through my kitchen. Get out, she said quietly. Get out of this house. Get out of my life. We're done. Nicole, wait. Out. Now. Derek looked at me, pure hatred in his eyes. This isn't over, Vincent. I'll fight you. I'll sue you. I'll make your life hell. You're welcome to try, I said calmly. But before you do, you should know that I filed a report with the police about your attempted fraud. They're investigating. If you come near me or my daughter again, if you make any more attempts to access my accounts or control my assets, I'll press full charges. Identity theft, fraud, attempted theft. You'll go to prison. Derek's face went white. You can't prove any of that. I have recordings of bank calls, documents, witness statements. I can absolutely prove it. The only reason I haven't pressed charges yet is because of Nicole. But if you push me, I will, and you'll lose everything. Derek stood there for a long moment. Then he turned and walked out, slammed the door so hard the windows rattled. Nicole collapsed into a chair, sobbed. I sat beside her, put my arm around her shoulders. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I never wanted you to find out like this. How long have you known? About 2 months. I hired an investigator after Derek started pushing too hard about the power of attorney. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Because I hoped I was wrong. I hoped Derek genuinely cared about you and was just bad with money. But the more I dug, the worse it got. He wasn't trying to help our family. He was trying to rob it. Nicole cried for a long time. I held her, let her process, let her grieve the marriage she thought she had. Finally, she looked up at me. What happens now? Now you decide what you want to do. If you want to try to work things out with Derek, I won't stop you, but I won't give him access to my money or my businesses. That's non-negotiable. I don't want to work things out. I want a divorce. I want him out of my life completely. Then I'll help you. Howard can recommend a good divorce lawyer. We'll make sure you're protected. What about his debts? Am I responsible for those? Howard will make sure you're not. We'll document everything. Show that he hid the debts from you, that you had no knowledge of his financial crimes. You'll be protected. Nicole nodded, wiped her eyes. Thank you, Dad, for protecting me, even from my own terrible choices. You didn't make terrible choices. Derek's a skilled manipulator. He fooled you. He almost fooled me. Over the next few weeks, everything moved quickly. Nicole filed for divorce, moved back into my house temporarily, started therapy to process the betrayal and manipulation. Derek tried to fight the divorce, demanded alimony, demanded half of Nicole's assets. His lawyer was aggressive, threatening. Then Howard presented Derek's financial crimes, the attempted fraud, the identity theft, the hidden debts, the loan application using my property. Press any of these claims, Howard told Derek's lawyer, and we press criminal charges. Your client goes to jail. So I'd suggest he sign the divorce papers, take nothing, and disappear quietly. Derek signed. The divorce was final in 60 days. But Derek wasn't done. 2 months after the divorce, I started noticing problems at my stores. Inventory going missing. Suppliers claiming they never received payments that I definitely sent. Customers complaining about poor service from employees I'd never hired. I called Grant. Derek's sabotaging my businesses. Can you prove it? Grant spent a week investigating. What he found was damning. Derek had been calling suppliers, canceling orders while claiming to be me. He'd been posting fake negative reviews online. He'd been calling the health department with false complaints. He's trying to destroy your businesses because he couldn't steal them, Grant said. Can we stop him? File for a restraining order. Document everything. Then sue him for tortious interference. You'll win. Howard filed the paperwork. We got a restraining order prohibiting Derek from contacting me, Nicole, or anyone associated with my businesses. Then we sued him for $500,000 in damages. Derek couldn't afford a lawyer, represented himself, lost spectacularly. The judge awarded me $400,000 plus legal fees. Derek would be paying it off for years. This court finds that Mr. Ashford engaged in a deliberate pattern of harassment, fraud, and interference with the plaintiff's business operations. The judge said his actions were malicious, calculated, and deserving of significant punishment. Derek had to file for bankruptcy, lost his car, his apartment, everything. He moved in with his parents 3 states away. I heard through mutual acquaintances that he was working at a call center for $12 an hour. Nicole was finally free, finally healing. She sold a house she'd shared with Derek, got a fresh start, started dating again, carefully this time. I learned something from all this, she told me 6 months after the divorce was final. I learned that love doesn't mean trusting blindly. It means trusting wisely, watching for red flags, protecting yourself while still being open. That's very wise, I said. I got it from you. Watching how you handled Derek. You didn't react emotionally. You prepared. You documented. You built a case. Then you acted strategically. 20 years of running businesses teaches you to think ahead, to plan for problems before they happen. Well, I'm grateful. If you hadn't been watching out for me, Derek would have taken everything. The stores, your savings, my inheritance, everything. That's what parents do. We protect our children, even when they're adults. 1 year after Derek left, I made changes to my estate planning, created an ironclad trust that would protect my assets from any future predators, made Nicole the sole beneficiary, but structured it so that if she remarried, her future spouse couldn't touch the principal. Only Nicole could access it. I also sold one of my stores to my employees. Kept two, cut back my hours. Started actually enjoying retirement instead of just working constantly. You seem happier, Nicole observed during one of our weekly dinners. I am. Removing Derek from our lives was like removing a tumor. Everything feels healthier now. Do you ever worry he'll come back? Try something else. No, he's broken, bankrupt, defeated, and he knows if he comes near us again, he'll go to jail. He's not stupid enough to risk that. I hope you're right. I am. Guys like Derek are cowards. They only attack when they think they can win. Now he knows he can't. 2 years after the divorce, Nicole met someone new, a teacher like her, genuine, kind, honest about his finances. She brought him to meet me. His name was Andrew. He was nervous, respectful, asked permission to date my daughter like we were living in the 1950s. I liked him immediately. Andrew, you seem like a good man, I said, but I need to ask you something directly. Are you dating my daughter because you like her or because you think she's going to inherit money someday? Andrew didn't flinch. I'm dating her because she's smart and funny and kind. I didn't know about any inheritance until she told me last week. And honestly, it makes me nervous. I make $45,000 a year as a teacher. I drive a 10-year-old car. I'm not wealthy. I can't compete with guys who have more money. You don't need to compete. You just need to be honest. Can you do that? Yes, sir. Absolutely. Then you have my blessing. Just treat her well. She's been through enough. I will. I promise. They dated for a year. Got engaged. I paid for the wedding. A small ceremony at a vineyard. Nothing like the elaborate affair Nicole and Derek had. At the reception, I gave a toast. 2 years ago, my daughter went through hell. She married the wrong man. Someone who saw her as a means to an end. But she's stronger now, wiser, and she's found someone who loves her for who she is. Andrew, welcome to the family. Andrew cried. Nicole cried. Half the guests cried. It was perfect. 3 years after the Derek disaster, I fully retired. Sold my remaining 2 stores to my employees for a fair price. Walked away with enough money to live comfortably for the rest of my life and still leave Nicole a substantial inheritance. You did it, Howard said when we finalized the sale. You protected everything you built. You beat Derek. You secured Nicole's future. You won. I didn't win. I just didn't lose. That's the same thing. No. Winning would have been Derek never existing, never marrying Nicole, never putting us through any of this. But we survived. We protected what mattered. That's not winning. It's just not losing. You're too modest, Vincent. What you did, preparing for Derek's betrayal before it happened, documenting everything, building an unbreakable legal case. That was masterful. Most people would have just reacted emotionally, signed things they shouldn't have signed, lost everything. I've spent 40 years in business. I've seen every kind of con, every kind of manipulation. When Derek started pushing for power of attorney, I knew what he was doing. I'd seen it before. Old guy with money. Younger person try and control it. Classic setup. So you prepared. I prepared. Because that's what you do when you see a threat coming. You don't wait for it to hit you. You build defenses. You gather evidence. You make plans. And then when Derek made his move, you were ready. Exactly. He thought he was playing chess while I was playing checkers. But I was 3 moves ahead the whole time. Every document he wanted me to sign, I knew why. Every question about my finances, I knew what he was really asking. Every pressure tactic, I recognized it. Where do you think Derek is now? I don't know. Don't care. As long as he's far away from Nicole and me, he can be anywhere. Do you think he learned anything? Guys like Derek don't learn. They just find new victims. But at least those victims won't be us. For years after Derek left, Nicole and Andrew had a baby, a little girl they named Patricia, after my late wife. I held my granddaughter and thought about everything that had happened, all the pain, all the betrayal, all the fighting, but also all the protection, all the preparation, all the love that motivated me to stand up to Derek instead of giving in. She's perfect, I told Nicole. She is. And Dad, thank you for everything, for protecting me, for teaching me to be stronger, for making sure Patricia will grow up with a grandfather who fights for his family. That's what family does. We protect each other. 5 years after the disaster began, I'm sitting in my living room writing this. Nicole and Andrew just left. Patricia is 2 now, running everywhere, talking constantly. She calls me Pop Pop. I think about Derek sometimes. Wonder if he ever tells people about what happened. If he admits he tried to steal from his father-in-law and got caught. Or if he's created some victim narrative where I'm the villain who ruined his life. Probably the latter. People like Derek never take responsibility. Never admit they were wrong. Always blame others for their failures. But I don't care what story he tells himself. I know the truth. And more importantly, Nicole knows the truth. She's free now. Happy. Building a real life with a good man who loves her for who she is. Not what she might inherit someday. And my granddaughter will grow up knowing that her Pop protected her mother. That he stood strong when someone tried to hurt their family. That he fought smart instead of fighting angry. That's my legacy. Not the money, not the businesses, but the protection, the preparation, the willingness to stand up to predators who see families as targets instead of treasures. I've learned something important through all of this. Money attracts predators. The more you have, the more people will try to take it. But preparation beats predation every time. When Derek first started asking about my finances, I could have ignored my instincts. Could have believed he genuinely cared about helping me. Could have signed those power of attorney documents. If I had, Derek would have stolen everything. My stores, my savings, my investments, everything I built over 40 years of hard work. And Nicole would have been complicit without even knowing it, because Derek was manipulating her too. But I didn't ignore my instincts. I listened to that little voice that said, something's wrong here. I investigated. I documented. I prepared. And when Derek made his move, I was ready. That's the lesson I want Patricia to learn as she grows up. Trust your instincts. Prepare for problems before they happen. Document everything. And when predators come, because they will come if you have anything worth taking, be ready to defend what's yours. Not with violence. Not with anger. But with preparation. With strategy. With ironclad legal protections that predators can't break through. That's how you protect a family. That's how you protect a legacy. That's how you win against people who see you as an opportunity instead of a person. Derek thought he was smarter than me. Thought he could manipulate an old man into handing over his fortune. Thought he could charm Nicole into supporting his schemes. Thought he could pressure me into making bad decisions. He was wrong on every count. Because I wasn't an old man to be manipulated. I was a businessman with 40 years of experience dealing with people exactly like him. And I quietly prepared for everything he tried to do before he even tried it. People ask me now how I knew. How I saw through Derek when Nicole didn't. How I prepared so perfectly. The truth is, I didn't know for certain until Grant's investigation confirmed it. But I suspected from the beginning. Because Derek showed classic signs of a con artist from day one. Too charming. Too interested in my finances. Too eager to be involved in decisions that didn't concern him. Too quick to suggest I was too old to manage my own affairs. All red flags. All warnings. All signs that Derek saw me as a target, not a family member. So I prepared. Quietly. Methodically. Without telling anyone what I was doing. Because if Derek had known I was investigating him, he would have changed tactics, hidden evidence, maybe even tried to sabotage me first. But I kept quiet, gathered evidence, built my case, and when the moment came, I had everything I needed to stop him cold. That's the power of preparation. That's the value of thinking ahead. That's how you protect yourself and the people you love from predators who see vulnerability where they should see family. Derek's gone now. Broken. Bankrupt. Living with his parents. Working a minimum wage job. Paying off debts he'll probably never fully clear. Some people might feel sorry for him. Might think I was too harsh. Might say I should have given him another chance. But those people don't understand what Derek tried to do. He didn't just try to steal money. He tried to steal my entire life's work. He tried to manipulate my daughter. He tried to control my assets through fraud and deception. And when I stopped him, he tried to destroy my businesses out of spite. Tried to ruin everything I'd built because he couldn't have it. That's not someone who deserves sympathy. That's someone who deserves exactly what he got. Consequences. As I sit here now, 5 years later, I'm grateful. Grateful I trusted my instincts. Grateful I prepared. Grateful I protected Nicole before she lost everything to a predator in husband's clothing. My stores are doing well under new ownership. My investments are secure. Nicole is happy. Patricia is healthy. Andrew is a wonderful son-in-law who treats my daughter like she deserves to be treated. And Derek learned that some old men aren't as easy to steal from as they look. That some families are protected by more than just good intentions. That preparation beats manipulation every single time. That's what I had quietly prepared. Not just legal documents and financial protections, but evidence, strategy, a complete defense against a predator who thought I was too old and too trusting to see him coming. He was wrong, and now he knows it. And that's the story of how my son-in-law tried to control my money and found out what I had quietly prepared. If this story resonated with you, please subscribe, hit that like button, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever dealt with family members who tried to control your money or manipulate you? How did you protect yourself? Your stories matter. Thank you for reading.